Welcome to the Root of All Broth, the show where we talk about the inspirations behind the foods that we cook. And today we're in the beautiful Shenandoah National Park on vacation. And I'm very excited to let you know, here in Virginia, we were actually able to find some fresh okra. So today, I'm going to show you my very favorite recipe from my grandmother, her delicious fried okra. Let's get cooking. As you can see, we're not in my kitchen. I have to use what's available to me in this kitchen. One thing you do when you first go on vacation, if you're going to be cooking while you're there, is look through all the drawers, look through all the cabinets, see what you actually have available to you. I don't have a French knife, I don't have a whisk, I don't have a butcher knife. I do have some pots and pans and some glassware that I can use. So fried okra won't be difficult, but I do have to kind of use some other tools than I would use if I was in my own kitchen. The ingredients for this fried okra are very simple. We have yellow cornmeal, a couple of eggs, our fresh okra, salt and pepper, and of course oil for frying. Now I did bring my big Dutch oven with me, but actually we've made some marinara sauce, so it's back on the back of the stove with our fresh vegetables from our garden. So we're really excited about that. So I've been cooking that for an hour or so. And then we also did bring some ingredients, but I had to buy a few at the grocery store today. So when you're thinking about traveling, think about the staples that you can bring with you, and then that way if you want to cook, you don't have to reinvent the wheel and buy everything again. Okay, now we're going to prepare the okra. So when you're chopping your okra, you want to cut off the crown and then cut off the hard tip, and you can kind of see where it starts to get hard. And then we're going to do about a ½ inch slices of okra. And I'm going to continue this with all the okra that you see here. There's nothing like fresh okra. There's no replacement for it. You can use frozen and it will be terrible because frozen okra has no taste. I tried to make some a little while ago and it just tasted like breading with nothing else. So I don't recommend using frozen okra. That's why I haven't made this for you guys yet. Okay guys, don't laugh. Look how big these bowls are. This is all they had. So I have 2 eggs here that I have whisked with my fork. I've got a 1.5 cups of cornmeal. Now to that I'm going to add some salt. Got a couple tablespoons of salt and some freshly ground pepper. Another great travel tip, get the ground pepper that has the grinder, the whole peppercorns. And then you've got better pepper, fresher pepper. Depends on how much you like. Like, what does your family like? Do you like a lot of, I like a lot of spice. Not too much, but you want to make sure that like when you look in that you can really see the pepper and you can see the, and you know it's enough seasoning for that amount of okra. Now, this is 8 ounces of okra, which was about 18 stalks, I counted it. So for that, do about a 1.5 cups of cornmeal and then 2 eggs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this okra and I'm going to dip it in the egg. Okay, so we have our egg. I'm going to take this okra that I have chopped, put it in the egg. We're just going to move it around the egg. This is to keep your batter on the okra. It's not going to add any flavor or anything, guys, but it's just going to do that. Now we're going to take it over here to the cornmeal. I do not like flour in my okra. Some people do. I don't judge. Well, I kind of judge, but you know what, guys? This is my recipe. I do what I want. I want a good coating on this okra. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes just to let this sit up and let the oil heat up, because here's the trick to frying, guys. It's how hot your oil is. You need to make sure that you get it to the higher temperatures for frying, or else your batter will go everywhere and it won't work out. Same thing with hush puppies or whatever you do. So you're going to kind of just use your hands to sift this okra. And I'm going to put it in this pan. But just get that cornmeal off of there. Guys, we're gonna have this with some delicious ribs. They're cooking. I actually am making country style ribs today, but we're using the same marinade we used for our grilled ribs the other day on our other episode. So I'm gonna put that link in the video here so you guys can find it. Go out and check out how Steve cooks his ribs. But today we're cooking them on low in the oven. They are country style, so a little more fatty. We're just gonna cook them for 3 hours on 250 in the oven with that delicious marinade. And we're gonna have some mashed potatoes, which is my favorite thing to have with okra. Okay, and now this goes, like I said, back in the refrigerator or in the refrigerator for 20 minutes just to let that set up. Two things you need when frying. One is a vegetable oil or an oil with a high smoke point. Vegetable oil is great for frying because it does have a high smoke point. We're gonna fry this okra at about 350 degrees. Grapeseed oil is another oil that has a really high smoke point that's good for frying. And another thing we're gonna use are paper towels. So when we're done frying our okra, we can go ahead and just drain it onto the paper towels on a plate. Okay, I always cook okra in a cast iron skillet. There isn't one here. I don't travel with a cast iron skillet. Y'all might think I'm crazy and travel with everything. I do not travel with a cast iron skillet. So I'm using a regular skillet here. Let me show you how much oil I'm gonna use. You wanna fill it up to where the okra is actually submerged. So that's gonna be about 1/2 inch. I'm gonna turn on the heat. I'm gonna start letting that heat up to get up to that 350 degrees before we start dropping our okra. So they did have a slotted spoon, so I'm lucky about that. But the one thing I wish I had traveled with was an apron. So that's why I have a t-shirt on. If it pops out and ruins this t-shirt, the Gap makes about 1 million more. I can find a great t-shirt. It will be okay. So if you don't know how to test your oil, or you don't have a thermometer to see if it's at 350, there's a couple things you can do. What I generally do is take a little water. I'll do that now. Put it to the grease. If it starts to pop, it's probably ready. Or if you want to test it for frying, just take a little bit of your cornmeal, drop it in there, see if it stays together. And see, as you can see, it's staying together in little clumps. It's ready to go. I'm going to start by taking my slotted spoon, kind of using it to sift out any of that excess cornmeal, and then I'm going to drop it right here in the oil. It does not take long to fry okra, but the more food you get into a pan, the lower the heat drops. So you want to do all your frying in batches, guys. Anybody that fries chicken will tell you fry in batches. So I'm just going to do a couple more, and then we'll do the rest. Okay, as this cooks, I'll just kind of look at the color. That's how I judge how long I want to cook it. Beautiful there. I want a little darker than that. This is fresh, cold okra. It's not frozen. You don't have to worry about it being cooked through. Okra cooks pretty fast. It's really pretty. Okay, you're gonna make sure you stick to the end of this episode because we are gonna show you how to heat up the oil, make sure it's proper for the second batch. So I'm taking this first batch out. See that color? That's the color I like. Pretty golden brown. You can see, if my temperature wasn't hot enough, this grease would be super cloudy. It is not super cloudy because all of the batter stayed on the okra. Guys, I'm getting excited. My grandmother, when I would come to her house, she would always make fried okra for me because she knew it was my favorite. She lived in Birmingham, so we would travel there for Christmas, and she would always make sure she made special fried okra for me. Okay, so I've got the fried okra out. I'm letting it sit on the paper towel. Get some of this off the top. Okay, let it get hot again a little bit, and then I'm going to get an exact time for you because I do everything by eye, and I don't want to be obnoxious, so I want to give you a time that's good, like how long to cook this. So I'm going to actually set a timer for you. So I put a little batter in there. Look at that, sticking together. It's ready to go for the second batch of okra. Here we go. I know everybody's grandmother cooks something special for everybody. Put in the comments what your grandmother would make you, or your grandfather, or your relative, whoever that special person was that cooked for you in your life. What is your favorite go-to recipe of theirs? Okay, it's been 3 minutes. You can see this okra is perfect. You go ahead and take that out, put it next to the other. The trick to the flavoring is making sure you get enough salt and pepper in your cornmeal. If you don't, it won't have as much flavor. So just make sure that you've got at least, for that 1.5 cups, I think we're going to go ahead and say, 4 tablespoons. It's just, you have to kind of look at everything proportionately. Oh, there's our little piece of cornmeal that we started. Look at that. He looks like a little, whoo, hot, hush puppy. It's hot grease. And there you go, fried okra, mountain food if I've ever had it. If you can keep your hands off of it long enough to actually put it on the table, we're gonna serve this up with our ribs, the biscuits, and mashed potatoes. And if you don't have a good biscuit recipe, I'm gonna put the link here in the video to our biscuit recipe. Try it out, see what you think. I want to thank all of our subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, just click that button and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. And I wish you're all just here with me to enjoy this beautiful view. And thank you for coming by, and we'll see you real soon.